Cultivating Childhood Wellness Through Gardening, a training brought to you by Wisconsin Nutrition, Physical Activity, and Obesity Program, and Community Groundworks. Chapter 7, Garden-Based Activities, selected from Got Veggies, a youth garden-based nutrition education curriculum. Free copies for download are available on the Wisconsin Department of Health Services website at www.dhs.wisconsin.gov. Sometimes, the most fun way to engage children in the garden is with simple tasks like digging or pushing a wheelbarrow. These common garden chores become a form of play in the children's garden. After a day spent inside, kids can move their muscles and tackle a digging project in the garden. They can find fun ways to be physically active and explore outdoors. Gardening is good for kids' brains and their bodies. Gardens inspire kids to move their bodies and use their muscles. Create a digging garden. Kids can explore the soil, roots, seeds, and rocks. They can discover insects in action and watch worms. The digging garden can move around to wherever there is an open garden bed. Kids can use shovels and wheelbarrows to move compost to garden beds or bring wood chips to garden paths. Kids can practice steering a wheelbarrow through the twists and turns of the garden. Making rope, called cordage, is a great garden craft and a heritage skill. Start with long grass or stems. Make a knot at one end of a small bundle, twist and spin two sections together or braid it. Click the link embedded in the slide to access a cordage making tutorial. You can make bracelets or necklaces and decorate them with flowers. Splice in new pieces of grass for longer ropes and test their strength. Natural cordage is amazingly strong and useful. This activity is called Name That Veggie. Instead of simply telling kids the name of a new vegetable or fruit in the garden, let them come up with their own name based on the characteristics of that fruit or vegetable like size, shape, color, and texture. Give kids a chance to explore a new vegetable or fruit in the garden. Inspect its parts like leaves, flowers, stem, and fruit, its colors, textures, shape, size, and smell. Take some time and let them get to know the plant. Now it is theirs. Kids will develop a deeper appreciation for this plant, and they will be more likely to care for and eat it in the future. After kids explore their new plant, allow them, maybe encourage them, to taste the vegetable or fruit. Then ask them to come up with 3 to 4 words that describe their plant. From those words, have them come up with a new name. This chard leaf could be Green Garden Godzilla. Studies show that fun and catchy names can boost how many vegetables kids eat. A fun way to get kids excited about gardening is to create a theme garden. There are endless options. Try a recipe garden with tomatoes, peppers, onions, and cilantro to make pico de gallo salsa. Or a storybook garden based on books like Tops and Bottoms by Janet Stevens, Two Old Potatoes and Me by John Coy, or Growing Vegetable Soup by Lois Ehlert. The garden can make stories come alive for kids of all ages. For school-age kids, talk about the origins of your garden vegetables to boost lessons in different subjects like geography, social studies, history, and literature. A pizza garden is a classic theme garden. Design your pizza garden by building raised frames in the shape of pizza slices. For materials, you can use lumber, logs, or rocks. Arrange your slices in a circle so they form the shape of a pizza pie with walking paths in between. If you have limited space, just build one pizza slice garden bed. Help students plant a variety of pizza toppings such as tomatoes, oregano, onions, basil, and peppers in the garden beds. For a simple pizza garden design, shown in this picture, you can fill a kiddie pool with soil and put in dividers. Before you fill the pool with soil, you should drill holes in the bottom for good drainage. Garden activities in the early care and education setting can incorporate each of the 5 domains of the Wisconsin Model Early Learning Standards. Let's take a look at each domain and their subdomains. Health and physical development. Preparing, planting, harvesting, and enjoying the fruits of the garden require that we use our bodies and that we learn many skills along the way. Let's explore some specific examples through the health and physical development subdomains. Physical health and development. Hand washing after working in the garden and preparing produce teaches children about personal hygiene. Children also learn about the need for healthy foods to grow a healthy body. Motor development. Children use gross motor skills, or large muscle groups, when pushing and balancing a wheelbarrow, squatting down to weed, and pulling a rake through coarse soil. Fine motor skills are used to pick up seeds or worms, pick flowers, scrub carrots, tear lettuce leaves, stir ingredients, and harvest snap peas. Sensory organization. Learning happens best when children are active and all senses are engaged. In the garden, children will smell flowers, touch fuzzy plant leaves, and watch and feel dry soil as it falls through their fingers. Their bodies will feel the resistance of a stubborn weed as they pull it out. They will also move with increased intention and purpose when planting, weeding, watering, and harvesting. Children can also learn to respond appropriately to their environment by being quiet when a bird or bunny has come nearby. Social and emotional development. Gardens are places for social gatherings, teamwork, celebrations, or perhaps expressing frustration with pests or undesirable weather, all of which can assist children with emotional development, build a sense of self, and increase social competence. Emotional development. Working in gardens with nature can evoke a wide array of emotions: excitement or disgust at finding a worm or insect, joy of discovering a flower, sadness or disappointment about accidentally stepping on a plant, or at the end of a season of activities, the satisfaction of harvesting a carrot. The changes in a garden offer countless opportunities for emotional development every season of the year. Self-concept. Planting a seed and taking care of it all the way through a harvest helps to build confidence and self-esteem. Working cooperatively with others and learning that a garden is a shared space for everyone develops a sense of community. Similarly, by donating some of the harvest to a food bank, children are connected to the larger community and to those that are in need. Social competence. Gardens and food preparation activities give children a chance to learn how to work cooperatively and resolve conflict. Growing food is all about working in teams, developing goals, and following through on plans despite distractions and mishaps. The garden provides a number of real-life lessons. Language development and communication. Reading about gardening and tending to one create opportunities for children of all ages to develop their language and communication skills. Listening and understanding. Whether it's planting seeds in shallow holes, hand washing before enjoying a snap pea, or sitting down to read a favorite garden story, garden activities build listening skills and the ability to follow directions. Speaking and communicating. Any new or unfamiliar place to anyone of any age is where learning certainly will take place. For children, a garden is often a brand new experience that is ripe with opportunity to learn new words through hands-on exploration. Curious questions and thoughts about plants, soil, watering, and the sun will result in increasingly more complex exchanges. When older children have questions, try to help them discover the answers themselves. Early literacy. Reading stories, singing garden songs, practicing writing by painting garden signs, and making up superhero names for vegetables are just a few examples of garden-based activities that help build early literacy. Approaches to learning. Gardens can be a place for all children to learn through exploration, expression, and imagination. Curiosity, engagement, and persistence. Simply digging and looking for critters, watching busy bees go flower to flower, or picking apart a flower to see how it is made are just a few ways children will engage with the garden and feed their curiosity of the world. Creativity and imagination. Dramatic play with hats, overalls, gloves, and garden tools help children learn through their imagination and modeling actions they have seen performed by adults. Children can draw inspiration from garden produce for coloring, drawing, and painting projects or create collages with natural materials such as leaves, petals, and sticks. Diversity in learning. Having a garden is an opportunity for children and teachers to learn about and celebrate the diversity of practices and cultures from the U.S. and around the world. In the classroom, this can be done by reading books with characters of diverse cultural and ethnic backgrounds. In the garden, you can plant vegetables that originate from different parts of the world and make plant signs that are both in English and other languages spoken by children in your care. Cognition and general knowledge. All of the steps of having a garden, from planning where to plant your tomatoes to harvesting pumpkins in the fall, are opportunities for children, teachers, and families to come together, think critically, test ideas, overcome mishaps, and celebrate successes. Exploration, discovery, and problem solving. Through hands-on garden activities such as pulling weeds and washing newly harvested produce, children will learn about the world. The more children can use their senses in these activities, the better they will learn and retain knowledge. This knowledge will help them solve problems both in and outside of the garden. Mathematical thinking. Many garden activities engage children in mathematical thinking. Use a calendar to talk with them about garden planning. Have them write out prices at their own farmer's market. Talk with them about pizza garden wedges to understand parts of a whole. Garden plots, plant signs, and vegetables are readily available examples that can be used to learn about shapes, differences in size, and weight. Scientific thinking. Simply being outside is an opportunity to build knowledge. Talk about the clouds and wind, or use a thermometer or rain gauge to learn about the weather. Compare weights and sizes of pumpkins harvested to learn about measurement. Make predictions about garden experiments, or use a magnifying glass to get a close look at garden critters. Gardens are also a great way to engage families and caregivers. The Garden Connection can help to bridge the school and early care and education settings with life at home. Having families and children participate in and have ownership of the garden creates meaningful and lasting lessons not only about health and food, but also about the potential of a garden as a teaching tool. Here are some ideas to involve families in the garden. Include families in garden planning, design, and maintenance. For example, give them team names for specific tasks, such as Monday maintainers or Wednesday waterers. Invite families to garden events such as taste tests of fruit and vegetables produced in the garden or cooking demonstrations. Host a farm stand at pickup featuring produce from your garden. Send children home with baggies of cherry tomatoes or snap peas from the garden for everyone to share in the car on the way home. Inform families about garden updates and garden-based education. You can inform them in person or through print materials such as brochures or the program newsletter, bulletin boards, photos, program website, emails, and text messages. Reflect the family's cultures and traditions in the garden design, plant selection, and events. Solicit family recipes for a class recipe book. Find roles in the garden for different types of caregivers. A busy parent can help pass out stickers at a taste test event. An artist can help make garden signs. A quiet collaborator can assemble the class recipe book. And an organizer can manage the weeding calendar. If your early care and education site participates in Youngstar, Wisconsin's Child Care Quality Rating and Improvement System, be sure to check with your regional child care resource and referral agency to find out how you can maximize your garden's potential to earn Youngstar points. More ideas for farm to early care and education garden activities can be found at the National Farm to School Network website, www.farmtoschool.org, or click on the link embedded in the slide to access the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction Farm to Early Care and Education page.